See, Python is called a programming language. Python is called programming language. And in the same way, and is called a scripting language. Programming language and is a scripting language. First of all, let me explain. So, what is the difference between programming and scripting? The first point is, what is the difference between programming and scripting? Just one simple example. Suppose if it is a program, consider if it is a program, one simple example is a C program I am taking. Code.c. It's a C program, just consider. We are writing the program, right? A equals to 10, B equals to 20, just adding two numbers and printing that one. Printing. So what is the meaning of programming? The program can run alone, and generate the output. This is the first thing. The first simple question they will ask about the Python. Python is a scripting language. Python is a programming language. Python is a framework. Explain all these things one by one. First one is Python is a programming language. Okay. So what is program? You can run Python program alone in the same way like C I am taking. What is a program? Whenever you are writing the code you can run, the program can run alone to generate the output. Suppose if it is a script, if it is a scripting language, consider. Scripting language means what? The best example to understand what is a scripting language? JavaScript. Normally, code.html. JavaScript, if you want to run, not directly possible. First, HTML. From HTML, you will write the JavaScript code. Script. Here, anything you can write in a script. Suppose print hello. Just consider is a JavaScript code. Script we cannot run alone. Script is a subprogram. Script is a subprogram that we cannot run alone. Cannot run alone. Scripts always run using another program. So what is the difference between program and script? Program can run itself or nothing but alone to generate the output. But script is a subprogram. That must run from another program to generate output. This is the first one. What is programming and what is scripting? The next one they may ask the questions about, okay, programming is called. In programming again, two types of programs are there. Python programming supports two types of programs. One is a functional program. Second one is a object-oriented programming. One is functional programming. Second one is object-oriented programming. Sir, what is the difference? It's a simple one. Before going to understand what is functional programming and what is object oriented programming. First, we need to understand at least what program contains. What program contains. Here, suppose I'm taking programming is used to develop applications. To develop applications, we are using programming. This is the step. See, what is the purpose of application? Banking application we are taking. Banking application is for two simple reasons only. So what is that? It will store accounts information, account holders information. Next one, perform operations on that information. On that information. Suppose if account holder is there, consider account is the program. Consider account is the program. So every program has details. We can say data. Details, we can say data simply. Okay, so what is that? What is that? Here it is. What is information of account? What is information of account? Account number, account holder name, balance in account, like IFSC code, all these details. Simply to say data, technically called variables. Technically called variables. So in program, if anyone asks why you are writing variables concept, because variables are used to store information. Variables are used to store information. That is okay. Now here in my account, suppose balance is there. Some amount of balance is there. Balance. So 5,000 consider balance is there. When the balance will change. When you do some operations on data, just withdraw some amount. Withdraw 1,500. Suppose deposit 3,500. Recharge 500. Like a transfer 1,000. So these things will change. Withdraw means what? Is a subtraction. Value become 3,500. Deposit means what? Adding 3,000 plus 3,500 is 7,000. Recharge 500 means what? Is a deduction. 6,500. Transfer means a deduction is a 5,500. See, these are actually called operations on data. Operations on data. These operations technically called functions or methods. When we call functions and when we call methods, I'll explain. So inside the program, why you are writing variables means what? You should give the simple answer. Variables are used to store information. Variables are used to store information. Next, here, why we are writing functions or methods means what? Are used to perform operations on information. Operations on information. This is the thing. Why we use variables? Why we use functions means what? This is the simple answer we should provide. Hope you got it. Next one. So this is a program, right? Now you will understand the concept. What is functional programming? Python supports functional programming. Next, Python supports object-oriented programming. Python supports functional programming and Python supports object-oriented programming. Sir, what is functional programming? Whenever you are writing the information directly, variables and functions. I'm just writing one variable. Balance is equals to some balance is there. 5,000 balance. Function. Suppose I am writing deposit function. Inside the deposit function, we are adding some amount. Sir, we don't know all these things. Don't worry. We will discuss in coming concepts. That is not our concept. Concept is what is functional programming? Simply to say, directly writing variables and functions is called functional programming. Is called functional programming. And a very important point, this one is okay. We can call it as a variable. We can call it as a variable. And this one you must call function. You must call function. Writing variables and functions directly. Sir, any other functional programming languages? C language, pure. C++ just supports. Python just supports. JavaScript just supports. Got it? Go supports. It's a pure functional programming language. Pure. These are also supports. C++ functional programming supports Python, JavaScript, Go and all. Sir, what is object-oriented programming? Same only, no changes. Balance is equals to 5,000. Same function I am writing. Same function equal to balance plus 3,000. Consider. But the question is everything you have to write inside the class. It's a rule. It's a rule. It's a rule. Class. Sir, why? We'll see. We'll give the name and all. Name and all. This is object-oriented program. Writing variables and functions. Don't say functions. Methods inside the class. Inside the class. This is called variable. And don't say function. Say method. Say method. Sir, what are the languages supporting? Yes, of course. C not supports. C++ supports. Python supports. JavaScript supports. But Java .NET is a pure. You must write. These are optional. Look at this. What is the meaning? Python supports functional programming. Python supports object-oriented programming also. Python supports functional programming and object-oriented programming. That is. Okay. Now here. Okay. See. Sir, then what is the difference between a functional programming and object-oriented programming? What is the difference between functional programming and object-oriented programming? See, Functional programming is not secured. Object-oriented programming is a secured because we apply access modifiers. Who is allowed to access? Who is not allowed to access? Here everyone can access. But here we just make it private, public, protected and all. Suppose if it is a private, we can access ourselves only. Access ourselves. Sir, if it is a protected, access only in inheritance. Family members only can access. Public. So everyone can access. No limitation. No limitation. Everyone can access. Private, protected, and public. If anyone asks, so first we already discussed what is program, right? What is a programming language? What is an application? What is functional programming? What is object-oriented programming? What is object-oriented programming? See, sir, functional programming when we use, sir, object-oriented programming when we use. Simple answers. Simple answers. So suppose I am developing application for calculator. Is it security required? No. Here it is, one software is there. One program you have written for calculator. Why security? No security. Security not required. That's all, because it is not connected to the internet. It is not performing any money transactions. It is not performing any data transactions. That's all. Right? Happily calculator will run. Suppose in case if it is failed, right, they will reset or they will upload the software again, second time. Right? Not only this calculator, like for example, washing machine is there. Freezer is there. All electronic devices. Freezer, washing machine, Xerox machine. Sir, no. All these are comes under functional programming only. That's why still in embedded application development, still they are using C language or Python. Functional programming supporting na. That's why. Sir, object-oriented programming means what? Where we travel the information, we connected within the network and we do the transactions within the network. So security is required. Where we can go with that object-oriented programming. We are developing object-oriented programming things. Object-oriented programming things. Because see, if you say what is functional programming and what is object-oriented programming, again they will ask the questions directly. When we go with the functional programming and when we go with the object-oriented programming like this. Okay, this is the question. So Python supports. Python is a programming language. Next one, Python is a object-oriented programming language. Python is a scripting language. Now, where we use all these things? Where we use all these things? Clearly, Python supports functional programming supports functional programming. Sir, where we use exactly functional programming. Already told you, basic applications and mostly embedded applications development. Like for example, whenever we are doing the small desktop applications, basic applications, and like for example, small games and all, you can develop games. When it comes to object-oriented applications, working like object-oriented programming. This is like web application development, web app development. Web application means what? Right? For example, client, server, database, all we are connecting. We are connecting client, user interface, server, database. We connect all just like banking applications, e-commerce applications, right? Reservation, reservation applications, right? Like a Swiggy, Zomato, all these things we can develop, right? As an object-oriented application. Next one, when we use as a script. When we use as a script. Scripting means what? Along with the tools, cloud and tools, cloud and tools. Suppose if you want to learn AWS, sir, what we need to learn first? Python. Sir, I want to learn Azure. Yes, sir, I want to learn Python first. Sir, I just want to go with the data science, right? I using that Python first. Analytics, Python first, right? Not only that. For example, sir, testing, Selenium, I'm going with it. So Python first. So actually, these are some tools, right? To perform cloud operations, service-based operations, Salesforce, if you want to learn Selenium for testing. But in between, inside that, again, Python script they will use. Suppose this is the Selenium code. Inside somewhere, Python script they will use. It's a Selenium code. Selenium code. In that tool, Python script they will use. Simply. As a scripting also we are using Python program. So everywhere Python programming is there. But first we should know where to use Python, how to use Python. Every single thing we need to understand first. Okay. Now, next one is Python. We can call it as a interpreted programming language. Interpreted. Sir, what is interpreted programming language? In a simple way, I'll explain. Compilation and interpretation is there. Suppose C, Java, .NET, all these are compiler-based programming languages. One simple example. I'm just writing A equals to 10, B equals to 20, printing A value, printing B value, C equals to 30, printing C value, D equal to A plus B plus C, printing D value. By mistake, if you print E value, imagine this is the code. What is the difference between compilation and interpretation? In case if the same code, if you write in Java or in C language, when you compile, here I'm giving that numbers, directly it will show that error at line number 9. E variable is not defined, but using some message like this. See, all the lines it will check for errors. Suppose if you write 1,000 lines of code, in that 1,000th line also error is there, then directly it will give you the message. There is an error, please correct that, then only I will run the code. If it is an interpretation, if it is same program, suppose if you are writing as a Python program, If it is an interpreter, directly it will give the output first A value 10 you are printing, B value 20, C value 30, D value A plus B plus C value 10 plus 20 plus 30, 60. Now it will give the error, same only, error at line number 9, E variable is not defined. Simple one. Hope you understood. What is the difference between compilation and interpretation? Compiler means what? Every single statement it will check. Interpreter means what? Interpreter means what? Line by line checking. If first line is correct, then it will check. Where the error is exactly, it will check. Right? If suppose in 100 lines code, right? If 90 lines are correct, and it will give the output for all the 90 lines. Where the error is, it will check. Exactly where the error is, there only it will stop execution. That is the thing. That is what interpretation. That is what interpretation. Okay. Next, only one thing is there. Only one thing about Python. Python is a dynamic programming language. Sir, what is that dynamic programming language? It's very easy. Very easy. What is a dynamic programming language? In other languages, suppose if you take C or Java, consider if you declare an integer variable A based on the data type, A will get memory with a fixed size only. 4 bytes memory will be allocated. 4 bytes memory. Here, whenever you are storing the value, if the value is in the range of 4 bytes is okay. But out of the memory, if you try to store the value, suppose consider some value range is there. If this is the range consider. If you try to store this one, you will get error message. You will get error because only 4 bytes memory is there. And you are trying to store a very long value. That is called fixed. That fixed is called static memory allocation. Static memory allocation means what? Fixed size. Sir, how you will fix, sir? We fix the size using data types concept. Data types. If it is a 1 byte, or suppose integer, maximum of 4 bytes. Character, maximum of 2 bytes. Float, maximum of 4 bytes. Long, maximum of 8 bytes. Double, maximum of 8 bytes. Like this fixed memory. But Python is not like that. That's the reason Python is not supporting the data types concept. No supports. So directly you can use A is equal to 10. Then how much memory is a sufficient? Only memory allocates and A will point to that one. Then sir, suppose I want to store suddenly into A some other value, no problem. It will adjust the memory in another location, and it start pointing to this one, and it stop pointing to this one. Automatically, this memory will be deleted instantly. Sir, suddenly I want to store a very large value or some string I want to store. Again, it will adjust that location. There it will store that it will store that string. Then again, it will start pointing to this one. Dynamically, depends on what is the data we are storing. It will allocate the memory, sufficient memory. It will allocate dynamically based on that one. This is the simple way of understanding what is program, what is programming language, what is application. Okay, simply to say, sir, what is the software? You know that everyone can answer. Sir, software is a set of programs. Set of programs. How you will write set of programs? First of all, here I am taking the class. Teacher is using laptop for taking the class. That laptop is connected to different students. Suppose one student is using laptop. That student is using laptop. Suppose, and another student is using, suppose, is a mobile for attending the class. Suppose is another student is using desktop or tablet. All these are programs only. All these are. It's a program. 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 So we are writing the programs like this. Teacher is a program. Teacher information. Variables we write. Variables and what teacher can do. Suppose teacher has Python knowledge. Python data. Right? Next one is a teacher can teach. Is a functionality. Is a functionality. Is a program. Suppose a laptop. Is a laptop. Laptop is also having information, storing, and what it is capable of doing calculations. Doing calculations. That is its capability. So this is the program. Next one. Suppose is a student is one program. Student, here what we are doing, student is listening and understanding. That is the functionality of student. Is a functionality. Is the same tablet. Is a tablet, mobile, all these things. Tablet has the capability of storing information, and here it is receiving the information, projecting the information, everything. So this is one program. This is one program. This is one program. This is one program. Combining all these programs together, finally will develop one application. Sir, why? That's okay. Set of programs, why? Here teacher, laptop, mobile, tablet, student connected, why? Just for only one reason. Only one reason, sharing information. You know, sharing information, that's all. Okay, na? So these are the basic concepts, theoretical concepts. Right? From the next class, we will start coding. In the tomorrow class, I will start coding part. Tomorrow also, we have the class. Okay, na? Hope you understood the class. You will get the recording videos also, everything.